Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Car Talk. Podcasting and streaming worldwide, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk show. Just ahead, our go-to road racer aficionado, Richard Tomlin, joins us talking about SCCA. Conrad will have the In Wheel Time Car Clinic and a review of the 2024 racing season that's just about to get underway. Jeff's going to have his highway stripes that glow in the dark. That's a feature we're going to have. Yeah. And we'll have this week's automotive news. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. And we're also glad to join Richard Tomlin down at Apex Auto Works. Richard, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Well, very well. Happy New Year.
Oh, yeah. It's been a good one so far.
Has it?
Keep this going.
Yeah, good. Well, let's see. What are you working on down there?
Yeah, usual. Been clobbered with BMWs recently. Seems like a lot of BMW people got hit over the holidays. So working on a couple of the BMW modern and vintage.
Yeah, cars. I saw you throwing a motor in what was it, an E36?
Yeah, I got an E36. We got a 2002. We've got a brand new X3. So quite a variety right now.
Interesting. Do you like working on BMWs?
We work on them.
Better than a Corvette, huh?
They're not a Chevrolet. How about that? They're not a Chevrolet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you ought to just stick an LS in one of them and tub it out.
We've been down that path. We were actually a part of the first team that actually did that. And now that kit is sold by Vorschlag Motorsports out of Dallas.
Oh, wow.
And that's almost 20 years ago, believe it or not. So been a long time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's focus in on SCCA road racing. Can anybody do that?
Anybody with a driver's license can walk up and come participate with us tomorrow, basically.
Where?
Tomorrow is our biggest event of the year for Autocross. I don't know why, but January events tend to be the largest for us. We've had records of 285 people showing up to Autocross with us on one day. We're looking at about 200 cars tomorrow. Starts about 7 a.m. up at the police academy. If you're not signed up at this point, it costs you $55 to come out and drive your car or properly equipped SUV or wagon.
So this is basically parking lot cone racing, and you're not racing side by side with somebody else. You're racing the clock.
Correct. You're racing the clock, and we put 25 seconds between each car, so there's no chance of crossover or getting caught up unless there was something major. In 25 years of this, I think nationally we've had like 6 or 7 accidents total. On any given weekend, SCCA has over 6,000 cars racing in Autocross alone.
How do you get involved in SCCA racing?
SCCA is really easy to get involved. I mean, that's what started me down this path, 25 years ago, 26 years now. I got my 25-year pin, so I guess it's been 26, but $35 a year for membership gets you into the calendar and all the events, although now all that's available on the World Wide Web. Our local one is houscca.com, so HoustonSCCA.com. The major one is SCCA.com. That's national. And the national stuff is where a lot of people that are aspiring to be the biggest and greatest, I mean, that's where the Foyts, that's where the Unsers, that's where all of them came from. That's where your Shelbys came from. That's where your Ken Miles come from, is SCCA roots. It's where it all starts.
I had a friend of mine, notice I said had, had a Corvette, and he was really into road racing. And he basically stripped off the entire bottom of the car's suspension.
Wow.
And put this custom road racing suspension on the car. I didn't even know there were kits for Corvettes that did that, but he spent if you looked underneath the car, you'd think, wow, that's pretty impressive. I mean, there's a lot of changes. What are the changes that are done to the suspension for a track car?
The first thing you'll see is going with much stiffer spring rate, slower acting shocks, so they slow down how the car actually moves. And the biggest thing you'll find is alignment. People will tweak and tune on alignment every event. Some people are actually adjusting alignments in the parking lot. It depends on how competitive you want to go. there are other people that will drive to the track on the exact same tires that they're going to run around and play on. So some people are out there to play, and some people are out there to smash skulls.
Yeah, well, this was not that, but I will tell you that he did tweak shock absorbers and alignments and tire pressures. Explain all that. Why?
So the tire pressure thing is an amazing one, because after you've been autocrossing for a while, some people are much faster than others to pick it up, but you'll get to where around an autocross course, you can tell a difference of 2 PSI in tire pressure front to rear in a car. You can tell when it's actually down from optimal performance, and that all translates over to your daily driver when you're driving it. It's like you just know that something is a little bit off. And it seems crazy to think that 2 PSI is noticeable, but it truly is once you start getting tuned in and understanding what your car is doing. The alignment part of it is just the ability to make the car turn immediately when you want it to turn. And that's usually achieved autocross with what we call toe out. So your toe out, imagine your pizza slice of French fries and snow skiing. So basically you're taking your skis and basically you're just putting them just a little bit out. So when it's a little bit out and you immediately make that right tire is already just a little bit out. So it makes that instant transition to suck the car in around the cone. Everybody tweaks that a little bit different. Some are, a 16th of an inch, some are an eighth. Some people are aggressive in the heavy metal classes, which are the cars that are over 3,500 pounds, American V8s. They'll run almost a 1/4 inch of toe out on slicks, but those cars change direction like ice skater. It's amazing how they make a car that heavy move and transition.
Well, really, I mean, it seems to me that if you want to get really serious about autocrossing, there are different stages that you can spend money in, and I think that the first one is getting yourself a set of track tires.
Well, so that used to be the case. Now we've got street tire classes. So now you can literally show up on what you're on and you'll be competing against other street tire cars.
Yeah.
Now, are there better street tire cars or street tires? Of course. But you can show up and actually be competitive out of the box. I think we're like 43 classes now. I'm the frowner of having so many classes because it seems like not everybody gets a trophy. There's a lot of trophies. I prefer having 3 or 4 classes and let's go crown a champion. But there are classes they can get in and be competitive. They may only have 9 or 10 people to beat, but that's 10 people to go beat up on.
That's an interesting thought process there. So what are the most popular street tires out there that not only still hold up on the street with some sort of rain shedding possibilities and actually do well on the track? What brand? What would you go with?
It is Houston, so we do have to worry about the weather. But the hot one right now is the Yokohama AO52. And that falls into a category they call 200 tread wear. And this is a mythical number that came up in how quickly a tire wears out. Like our real race tires are like a 40 tread wear. They're soft. But you go to a Michelin, it's like 800, 900 tread wear. Michelin will last you, 50, 60,000 miles. These tires will last you on the street probably 10, maybe 8,000 miles. So you'll change them a lot faster. But when you show up to the track, you will be amazed at how well a street-driven tire can work.
And they're very sticky when you heat them up.
Has their tire they like, but the Yokohama is the hot button right now.
Yeah,
very
sure.
Do most of them drive out there on their street tires and then?
Yeah, I would say 90% of the autocrossers drive their vehicles to the event, and they may bring a little trailer, utility trailer with their spares. They don't fit inside the car, and they'll change tires in a parking lot. There's probably 90% that do that. You only got about 10% of the cars that are trailered, and those are just dedicated autocross cars.
The heavy metal cars.
But I was thinking about with the tires, when we were talking about the tires.
Yeah, they still drive them.
Susan Trimble Knapp says she's a fan of the Falcon RT 660s.
Susan plays a lot. She runs with a couple of HPDEs as well. Her car, I would be interested to see the weight of her car. It's got to be 3,800 pounds because hers is still full interior. But she's out almost every weekend playing with us somewhere.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
Tell me, is it like a first or second gear autocross course you set up there at HPD?
Autocross is almost always second gear.
Second.
Yeah, usually you come out of the first, second corner. you're in second gear. You'll be in second gear for the rest of the course.
Gotcha. So you don't have to really worry about shifting in the corners and stuff like that.
It's just braking.
It's really not a high-speed event. No. This is more along the lines of a tiptoe around the course.
Well, it depends on how fast you go in second gear.
I think once you're in the car with someone that is truly in second gear and enjoying the course, you won't call it a tiptoe. I promise.
Oh no!
It's the distance
not like
and the gates
you gotta
how
go.
far they are apart.
Yeah, you're up to third.
It makes road racing look calm.
Yeah, you're not having to go up to third, come back down to second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the course out at the police academy, is that something that you guys set up, or are you using the roads that are already built into the police academy?
So you have to use the nature of what they've built, which is a large figure eight with a junction on the side that ties the two figure eight loops together. And we basically set up our own course on that. So most of it's a 2-lane concrete pad. The backside's got a lot of camber on it. And we basically set up the gates, the cones, where we want, whether it's left lane, right lane, in the middle, just a little bit offset. And that's what lays out your course that you'll drive through as quick as possible, time down to 1,000th of a second. And then at the end of the day, we crown a trophy on who was fastest.
In the class.
Can change it up a
Per
little
class.
bit.
Yep. Every event's
within the asphalt that you got to work with.
He said asphalt.
Yeah, you'll never run the same course
Concrete.
twice. That's the other benefit of autocross is you're going out there and seeing what you can do. You walk the course 1 or 2 times, hop in your car and go drive. See how quickly you can adapt and learn to it.
Okay.
And I would also add, when you mentioned Susan being on here, so again, is one of those things where people start out in autocross and then find out, oh, wait, there's this thing called HPDE. Wait, there's time trials. Wait, there's road racing. Then wait, there's 24 hours of Daytona. How far do you want to go is only limited by your wallet and your time and your patience.
Yeah, and she says, yeah, you can go out to a Grand Sport and get up into third gear in some of the stuff as well, which is even that much faster.
Yeah. There's a lot of course designs that are out there. I mean, we've been doing this. I mean, I think the first one that was held in Houston was 1969 at Alameda Mall. Was the first one that Houston region had.
Alameda
so it's
Mall.
Been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, you guys used to do some stuff down at the dog track too, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that was our home for many, many years. That was a good site, but over the years it started decaying, and as we know, ownership has changed multiple times, and that site's going under construction now. I think they're getting a strip mall out in front of it, actually.
What a shame. What a great go-kart track that would have been.
It was amazing. So much asphalt. It was a good time. We enjoyed that. So now we're to Police Academy. We still race what we call the blunt-based Grand Sport Speedway. They've got a 1.1 mile track. The same thing we do at the Police Academy. We just modify that to make an autocross out of it. So that's our south side, north side. And then we also run some events down in Beeville where the Texas Mile runs. So we've got a larger concrete pad there, which is like our national finals that happens every year in Lincoln.
So when you set up a course, do you try and mimic, not that you can as far as elevation changes, but as far as the nature of the turns, do you try and mimic certain tracks around the world?
No, not normally. Normally you're pretty restricted to what the actual course lends to you on site.
Yeah, the size of it.
And then you've got rule sets that you have to keep in mind on how tight the corners can be, how close your slaloms can be, how wide the gates need to be, and you got to keep people away from each other. So there's a lot of parameters you got to play with to keep everybody safe. But we've managed to keep life and energy in HPA and running there 20 plus years and still having different courses every event.
Do you have to wear a helmet?
You do need to wear a helmet while you drive. We do have loaners available if you don't have your own helmet. And no, motorcycle helmets do not work. Bring a car one. So we'll loan you one if you need it. Not a problem.
Open face okay?
Open face is okay. And actually starting, I would say, is preferred. You'll learn that through time, the closed face helmet actually allows you to hear and feel more of what's going on in the car than the open face.
Really?
It's the weirdest thing.
Really?
It's because you're encased your head, the sound.
It's just weird how much more you can see or your senses become so heightened when you actually put a full face helmet on and close it. It's amazing.
Huh. I would have never thought that.
No,
So Don can't bring his bicycle helmet.
Yeah.
He was going to wear his latex suit and bring his bicycle helmet.
I would say too that
I will wear the latex suit. However, anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
On another note. So we have an event coming up in February that is the first time ever that 3 Texas regions have gotten together to put on an event, and that will actually be at NOLA. So it's New Orleans, but this is a national event, what they call a super tour. So you're looking at about 250 road race vehicles there. So where they hold the Indy race down there in NOLA, we're going to be racing down there with all of our regional cars, national cars. But will be a huge event, February 17th and 18th in NOLA. And if you want to see a spectacle of grassroots level racing, that will be it for this year in our area.
And where is it held? Yeah, I know New Orleans,
NOLA?
but I know
Orleans.
that. But
so they've got a track there that is called NOLA Racing Circuit.
Yeah.
It is a flat track, is what we call it. There's not a lot of elevation there, kind of like MSR Houston. But they ran Indy, I guess, 2 years ago. Conrad, do you remember? 2.5, 3 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was about 3, yeah.
Yeah, all new asphalt, really, really nice facility. So they're hosting some very big events last year, and this year we've got ours coming up that should be a huge event, and will be worth traveling to watch. It'll be that good.
So do you bring your LS Miata? You call that a Miata. I would argue there's not much Miata left in it.
In the road racing series, there's not much place for me to play. That one falls into the time trials, and we could go run an autocross if we want, but we focus so much on making it Pikes Peak that it's just not that good at autocross anymore.
Okay.
Not as fun.
Richard, it's always great to talk to you. SCCA, where can we get more information about this event that's coming right up?
SCCA.com is the easiest one, and then HOUSCCA.com is our regional site as well.
Okay. Great to talk to you as always, and good luck with your BMW fixes down there.
Oh, always a challenge.
Hey,
we'll talk to y'all soon.
Helps you make the payment.
Thank you, brother. Talk to you soon. Richard Tomlin, Apex Auto Works. Yeah, exactly. Well, we kind of postponed our original feature that Jeff had made, but we're going to do it now, and it's called Highway Stripes.
Highway Stripes, yeah.
Well, I like that. And this is a different kind of highway stripes that we're not familiar with.
Well, this is international. Because I'm the international correspondent, I picked this up on the internet. Basically, this looks like Tron.
It does look like Tron.
Tron the show. There you go. So what happened is the Australian government is rolling out a $245 million road safety program, which includes some innovation, new technologies, just to keep drivers safe, and cyclists and pedestrians as well. The most interesting aspect of the program is the implementation of photoluminescent road markings that glow in the dark. Just like the plastic stars, Conrad, that you used to put up on the ceiling of your bedroom as a kid.
I still do.
The lines of the road appear normal in the daytime, but once the night falls, they're as bright as the stars. According to the state of Victoria, which is a state in Australia, the innovation will help give motorists a stronger definition coming into the intersections, curves, and will greatly improve reaction time to the road conditions ahead. A Victorian company called Tarmac Line Marking shared images of the trial run of the glow-in-the-dark road markings, which are impressive, even in complete darkness. The lines on the road are clearly visible thanks to the application of the special finish, Mike. And you're asking yourself, what is that? Well, research has developed a soy-based luminescent sealant for the use on concrete surfaces. The luminescent sealant is a mixture of soy methyl ester polystyrene and strontium aluminate, which is a phosphorescent powder that slowly illuminates after being excited by light. The luminescent sealant is excited when a constant matter of a xenon lighting system that stimulated sunlight in the luminescence of the excited concrete surface.
Oh, my God.
And all that, and I thought all they did was ground up a bunch of lightning bugs. You know, when you smear one in your hand.
The results of the test indicated that the luminescent surfaces glowed 24 hours in the dark because it was excited. Now, I think this is a great idea. The tarmac lighting people say the new technology would be outstanding product for pedestrians, bike lanes, roads, boat ramps, which is important.
Airports.
In addition, the photoluminescent road lines, the government will also be implementing LED lit pavement near intersections and other more reflective road markings. And the reason for this is your headlights only go so far in front of your car. And they're concerned about intersections and dark areas that go on. So this is actually a very, very good idea. And if you can watch this later on, there's things for tracks and walkways and parks and things. The phosphorescent paint is also seen as a way to reduce light pollution. And one of the main causes of that is lights. The road lights.
Do they say anything about using it in fog? It was really foggy this morning. Caught me by surprise.
Well, it's whatever the light.
Whatever light you got.
Right. It'll illuminate or luminescence sometimes in the dark, but not bright, not like you're going to see it.
Yeah, but I can see where even if you had a little light, I'm thinking about going through the fog, that you might you could benefit from that.
Well, this actually was done in 2016 in the Netherlands, and they had problems because they put it on the lanes, on the roads, not very far, probably about half a mile to a mile. People were actually turning off their lights in the car and using it.
Well, that is the Netherlands. You know, their coffee shops are a little weird too.
They were getting in a lot of problems.
Hey, I want to remind everybody that we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. Our address here is info@inwheeltime.com. Time now for Conrad's Car Clinic, and you've got just a few minutes here.
Well, you know, I thought I'd talk about some of the weird options you could get and unique options you could get in the cars through history. You know, you got to remember back in the day, you could actually get a radio or a record album player in a car.
Yes.
And it had like a 13 cartridge album holder, and you could put it in, you could be like your own DJ driving down the car. I always wondered how that worked as far as skips and stuff and rough rides in the road. You know, another thing was Cadillac offered a magnetic glove box shot glasses. So the bottom of the shot glass had a magnet on it.
Absolutely.
And they stuck to the glove box when it was open. I thought how unique that was in its day.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of them they made, but I imagine not many before
I have one.
The Popo got involved. In 1956 through 1960, Chevrolet offered a vacuum ashtray, which really sucked.
Oh, boy.
But
knew that was going to happen.
It would draw the ashes and the smoke in and store it in a little glass mason jar. I would imagine it held.
So in other words, it's kind of like a car bong.
A car bong, yeah, that's right.
Car bong.
And then in 1969, General Motors offered what it called liquid tire chains. And, you know, they sold it as an HC Delco product. And it was even available in the Camaro, the liquid tire chains, and Chevrolet advertised liquid tire chains in the Camaro. And it was like a little cartridge just plugged into the trunk.
And it would shoot on the tire.
And it would shoot some kind of goo on the tire to help you with snow traction.
Nothing like shooting goo.
I don't think it was too effective, but they offered it. They say it's quite a unique option if you can find one in a 69 Camaro. And then in the 75 through 86, Jeep sold a Levi's edition with a denim jean interior.
On a Corvette?
Well, no, that one's a little out of, that might be my fault. It's out of place. Chevrolet offered from 77 through 81 on the Corvette C3 a towing package, if you can believe that. What are you going to tow with a Corvette? The little-known ZN1 towing package cost $355. It would fit onto your C3 only if you had the Jim Kahana suspension. You had Jim Kahana on yours, didn't you?
I did.
You didn't have the towing package on
I did not have the towing package.
I could not imagine towing anything with a Corvette.
Well, you could tow your BMW.
You'd have to tow
I wouldn't
your
have a BMW, but thank you for offering.
Well,
So, you know, another weird little option that they offered. And then the Holden Commodore offered a fax machine inside their vehicle for $3,300. Don't know why. In 97 through 2001, the Honda CR-V offered a shower that when you opened up the rear gate, it would hang from the rear gate, and you could take a shower to wash your shoes or your kids off. In the 1990s, Chrysler offered the Visor phone. Remember? Oh,
sorry, I skipped through it. Sorry.
The Visor phone was, a lot of manufacturers offered phones. Well, hey, your visor's ringing, answer it. Volkswagen offered a collection of electric guitars that were part of an option package on some of their Volkswagen products, and those have become quite collectible as well. They actually offered a Pink Floyd edition Golf with a guitar that came with it. And then in 2013, the Fiat 500 offered an espresso machine.
That'd be fun.
But
the only problem is you have to stop every few feet to go to the bathroom.
But forget about it.
Forget about it. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. Stellantis is pulling out of next month's Chicago Auto Show as it reevaluates its approach to vehicle expos. The automaker, citing last fall's UAW strike, pulled out of the Specialty Equipment Marketing Association show and the LA Auto Show late last year, in addition to next week's CES event in Las Vegas, to cut costs as part of its strike contingency plan. The only demonstration Stellantis will have at the Houston show is an outdoor ride and drive for some vehicles, according to Rochelle Salinas, Executive Vice President of the Houston Automobile Dealers Association that organizes the event. Salinas said the ride and drive is executed by an experiential company in direct relation with Stellantis, not its dealers. However, we are all disappointed by their decision, Salinas said, about pulling out of the show. However, we are grateful we had their participation for so long and are empathetic to their situation after the strike. We hope they will return in full force in 2024.
No more Camp Jeep, huh?
No more Camp Jeep.
What a bummer.
Yeah, I know. None of that. So it's going to be a big gaping maw on the show floor where that was. I'm sure that they'll
we're
fill it
generally
with
across the aisle from that. Maybe they'll just give us that space.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, can you
so we
imagine?
Can have a live audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure we'll fill up the arena. Not. All right. Time now for a quick break. And I want to remind everybody that you're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and want to thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning for our live show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Loopy Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Loopy Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Loopy's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Loopy Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Loopy Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Loopy Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeartRadio app, search for In Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In Wheel Time Car Talk. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.